Kimberly, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a quick review for you guys of a new palette that I saw yesterday when I was at Target. So long story short, I went to Target to pick up a few things as usual, and I scanned the makeup aisles as I usually do, and I saw a new kind of palette that I hadn't seen before by NYC, and it is the Lovatics by Demi Lovato palette. And I saw it and I've kind of stopped buying a lot of the new kind of drugstore palettes that have been coming out. I bought a few of the first ones that hit the market, and a lot of them are pretty okay for the most part, and they've got a lot of the same type of colors and everything. So I kind of just stopped buying them because I was like, okay, I've got a lot of neutral palettes. I need to kind of just tame it down a little bit. So anyways, I kind of was debating on getting this, and then I thought, you know, I really like the colors that it has in it. Let me pop it open for you guys. Take these little sponge things out. First of all, it looks like this has two little sponge applicators, which obviously I'm going to be pulling out. Actually, they're staying in there pretty good, so I may actually leave them in there. But anyway, it looks like this, and it has, it's called O2 Natural. This is the only one that I saw, so I don't know if they've got different ones. I looked on the website, and this is the only one, but I wonder if at some point this will be like, there'll be more like palettes like this, so maybe that's why they've numbered it, but this is the natural one. And on the back, the shadows are labeled as numbers 1 through 12, so there are 12 different shadows. And then it also gives you little diagrams of the colors that you could use together to make a look. So there's a discreet nude, a glamorous nude, and a smoky nude, and it kind of shows you the colors to use to achieve those looks, which is kind of nice, especially if you're a beginner. So yeah, looking at the colors of this, you can see that there are a pretty good shade range of some very like light neutrals, some kind of mid-tone colors, and then a few of the darker shades as well. And also there's plenty of matte and shimmer shades, which is nice, especially for a drugstore palette. So when I got this home, I was like, man, this just looks so familiar. What is it that I'm thinking? So I obviously pulled out my Urban Decay Naked palette, and this is just the original Naked palette. And I opened it up and I was like, oh my goodness, that looks really, really similar. So let me show this to you guys. And I'll insert some pictures as well, but this is what it looks like comparatively. So as you can see, the colors, I mean, almost line up perfectly. I say almost line up perfectly. They do line up perfectly to what the original Naked palette is. So of course then I decided I'm going to swatch this up. So I swatched the NYC palette first, and then I swatched the Naked palette, and I was very, very surprised to see that the colors not only looked the same, but they also swatched pretty much the same. So, and in fact, in some cases, the NYC palette was a little bit more pigmented than the Naked palette, which was really surprising. So yeah, anyway, so with that being said, these two are very comparable. I used today the NYC palette on this eye and my Naked palette on this eye, and I used just the same colors, you know, just side by side, to achieve the look that I have today. And as you guys can see, hopefully, the looks are not identical, but they are super similar to the point that if you do not have the Naked palette, you could get this palette and easily use this as your Naked palette. So when you're watching tutorials and stuff like that and they're grabbing for their Naked palette, you could grab this and use the color that, you know, looks most similar in this palette and get pretty much the exact same look. So the one color that I will say, let me just go through what I used today. I did use Virgin on my brow bone. I used Sin in my inner corner, Naked and Butt to build up my crease, as well as the Dark Horse to just deepen up the outer V. And then I did use Sidecar on my lid. Sidecar in the Naked palette is my favorite color to put on the lid. I just really like it. It's a really shimmery shade, and it's kind of like, I don't know, let me swatch it and show you. It's just a really pretty kind of taupey colored shimmer, light taupey shimmer. So I did use that in the Naked palette. So then in the NYC palette, I used obviously those shades that are similar. I used 1, which is this one on my brow bone, this one, which was this one similar to Buck, or Naked and Buck. I used these two matte to build up my crease. I used this one, which is similar to Dark Horse, to deepen up my outer V. And then this is the color that they have in the palette that's similar to Sidecar. Now, like I said, Sidecar is my favorite one in the Naked palette. So let me swatch this one and I'll show you kind of the difference, if you can see. The one in the NYC palette is just a little bit more bronze than taupe. So hopefully that will show up, and let me swatch those side by side. So as you can see, you know, Sidecar and then the one in the NYC palette, they're a little bit different, but for the most part you can achieve pretty much the same look. So overall, I have to say the quality of these shadows I was really impressed with. They're all really soft, buttery shadows, and they swatched out beautifully. When I used them today, I did notice that they do kick up a little bit of dust. I feel like the formula is more similar, not to the Naked palette, but it's actually more similar in formula to the Lorac Pro palettes. So, you know, when you use those, they're really soft and you dip your brush in them and they kind of kick up a little bit of powder. I'm totally okay with that because they blend out beautifully and they're really, really pigmented. So that's a small price to pay to have a little bit of kick up dust in a palette. But overall, I bought this at Target and it was $6.99. I looked on the website and it is actually listed as $4.99 on the website. And you can get it at like Kmart and Walmart as well, is what it said on the website. So if you went to one of those places and found this, it may be a little bit less expensive. But even at that, $6.99, $7 for this is a bargain compared to your Naked palette that runs $54. So yeah, I would say, I don't know that necessarily that I would say they're dupes as far as formula, but they are definitely closely comparable in the colors, enough that I would say if you don't have this, buy this, because I actually like the quality and the formula of the NYC palette better. So, short review, but I just wanted to really get on here and show you guys because I was so impressed. I bought, like when the Maybelline palettes first came out, I kind of bought those, and they were good, but I was like, you know, I'm really glad that I bought this palette. This is definitely one that I will travel with instead of taking my Naked palette, because if this one breaks, I can replace this one much easier and less expensive than my Naked palette, and I just really enjoy it. So I hope this was helpful, and if you guys like this, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're looking for a good neutral palette, I would highly suggest this one by NYC. Pick it up at your local Target store, or I think Walmart or Kmart as well may have them in stock now. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching so much. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a fabulous, blessed day. Until my next video, I will see you very soon.